This is a story about a fella who always wanted to work with animals, and he applied to the zoo. And they had an ad out for they needed someone there. And then he found out to his dismay that the job they had immediately open was dressing in a gorilla outfit, taking the place of the gorilla who just died until a new one could be delivered. And then they promised that he'd have a regular job at the zoo once that took place. Well, he put on the suit, and he got in the cage, and he got a little bored sitting around. So, particularly when the children were there, he began doing tricks and showing off for them. And finally, he got so interested in that, he got carried away one day. He was swinging on a rope, and he swung so far that he landed in the lion's cage that was next door. And the lion came roaring at him, and he started screaming for help. "Somebody get me out of here! Get me out of here!" And the lion jumped on him and said, "Shut up, or you'll get us both fired." Another story, one of my favorites, about that fellow who was riding a motorcycle on a cold day, and the wind hitting the buttons on the front of his leather jacket were chilling him, and he finally pulled over and turned the jacket around and put it on backward, and that protected him from the wind, but it also restricted his arm movement somewhat, and he hit a patch of ice, skidded into a tree. When the ambulance got there and the attendants elbowed their way through the crowd that had gathered, and they said, "What happened?" And one of the people that was there first said, "Well, we don't know. When we got here, he seemed to be all right. By the time we had his head turned around straight, he was dead." A man was speeding down a backcountry road when he saw a rabbit hopping in the middle of the road. Although he tried to swerve and miss it, he hit the rabbit squarely. Being a true animal lover, the man slammed on his brakes, leapt from his car, and hurried to see if the rabbit was all right. To his dismay, he found the rabbit was dead. As the man, sorrowing over the rabbit's limp body, he heard another car coming. The other car stopped, and the driver emerged to see what was going on. The other driver, a blonde, nudged the rabbit's limp body with her toe and remarked that it surely was dead. The man once again expressed his grief over having killed the poor, innocent animal, but the blonde said not to worry. She ran to her car, dug around inside, and returned with a spray can. She sprayed the rabbit's body, and sure enough, after a few minutes, the rabbit stirred, quivered, and then rose to a crouching position. A moment later, the rabbit started down the road as if nothing had ever happened. However, every few feet, the rabbit would turn and wave goodbye. The man was astounded. He snatched the spray can from the blonde to see just what kind of magic she had done. The spray can bore the label, "Alberto VO5, restores life to any dead, limp hair and gives it a permanent wave."